one of my classmates was like, "Oh my gosh, Tahir's dad is famous. Let's look up pictures of him." And then they Google Shaq. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my dad. Okay, cute." Close the desktop. And they were like, "No, let's look up, Shaq's family." And I
Mm,
had never done that before. And so I'm a little curious, but at the same time, I'm like, "Oh."
mm.
And then they look and it's just dad and Shawnee, dad and Shawnee and the kids. And just you keep going and there's no me, which, I'm not a public figure, not to say that I should have been up there, but it really, because that was the first time I'd ever really understood that there was public intrigue
Wow.
in not only my father, but our family as a whole.
Yep.
And I remember going home, I took one of the school laptops home, and I was like, Taahirah O'Neal, shouldn't have done it.
Wow. The curiosity killed the cat.
Kills the cat every time.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Do I Know You, the only talk show in the world, maybe the universe. I don't know, child. Are the aliens doing this? I'm gonna say they're not. We're the only talk show in the universe that interviews siblings and children of celebrities to celebrate our identities. Like, wow. Thank God we're back. I'm so happy to be back. I missed y'all so much. Wow. Can we take a second for these glasses? Tax write off, baby. Yeah, that's right. I just learned what that is. I got a CPA. File your taxes, y'all. Don't miss out on that money with Uncle Sam, per, in case the IRS is watching. I'm so happy to be back. Can you tell? This week we have an incredible friend of mine joining us. I am obsessed with her. Y'all are going to be obsessed with her. Her name is Taahirah O'Neal. What a star. What a star. Okay, y'all. So she has one of the most recognizable last names, probably, definitely in the United States. Her dad is a household name all over the world. That is Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, however you know him. As we were talking about in the interview, most people used to know him just as a basketball player, and now we have kids knowing him as the face of Papa John's or of the General or whatever it is, and they don't even recognize that he played basketball, which is wild to me. But she made a great point when she said that. Y'all, Tahirah's in a really unique situation, okay? Because not only is her dad Shaq, but actually her entire family has a huge spotlight on them, and she does as well. And she is a PR baddie, business girly, like the girl's eating down, events girly, like she's just really that girl. And someone that like I don't know, I just feel like everyone can learn something from her. I aspire to be her friend, and now we are friends. So if she's watching, you can't leave now. But we talked about a lot of stuff here. We talked about the saturation of seeing your dad everywhere. Can any of us relate to that? Like, that is wild. And just hearing her take on that, hearing her take on things like resentment and just kind of acknowledging your circumstances for what they are and how you change that as you grow up. There's just a lot of good nuggets in here. So get ready to eat. She devoured, she chewed, she snacked on this conversation. So without further ado, welcome my girl, Taahirah. I'm so happy to have you on. This is the start of a beautiful friendship. I have lots of questions for you. So let's just jump right in.
That's
I'm not even going to
good.
waste any time. Okay. So we live in a world that is very obsessed with, I feel like the thing right now is like find yourself. Like, I don't know when we got lost, but like find yourself, find your identity, all the things. And I would just be curious to know, like, starting off, growing up to now, like, how did you navigate your own identity being Shaq's daughter, but being Taahirah?
Oh my goodness. Ooh, I genuinely, I'm saying I'm just now getting a hold of that recently. I'd say this year was a very, or last year rather, it was a very poignant, very significant year for me in terms of self-discovery.
Hmm.
I I grew up with very, very incredible parents, but parents who, they were the first ones to go to high school, I mean, graduate high school, first ones to graduate
Mm.
college. And so I had these two huge shadows to kind of follow behind. If I wasn't Shaquille's daughter, I was
Yep.
Arnetta's daughter.
Yep.
And it was a lot. And I think, like a lot of kids, you just kind of get used to it. I was very comfortable being, oh, Shaquille's daughter, the one who doesn't play basketball. You know, the one, yeah. Like, the one who lives in Houston. I was very comfortable with being that. But it kind of, because you can only do so much with a comfort zone. That was
Mm,
another realization that I had to come to. I was living in this comfort zone for like a good 10 years. I was
wow.
working with my parents. My mom is a mental health professional, so I was
Wow.
secretary in her office. And then my father, I don't even know how to describe him. He's a business himself, and I was
Yeah.
doing social media work for him.
Okay.
And I was very comfortable doing that. And I remember, actually, I was in college, I think a sophomore in college, and
Mm.
they had us go to a job fair. And just like this, in a conversation just like this, someone asked me what I wanted to do with my life. And silence. I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't even know I could think about what
Wow.
I wanted to do. And not because it was anyone else's fault or anything. It was just
Yeah.
didn't have the foresight for myself. And so after I graduated college, I just started, I don't recommend people do the things that I did, but I just started saying yes to opportunities. I had
Mm.
the opportunity at Zappos that unfortunately I couldn't take because of some health reasons, but that led me to my opportunity at PepsiCo. And then
Mm.
from there on out, I kind of fell in love with communications, and it just kind of helped me sort of narrow down my interests. And it's just been, that was 5 years ago. And I've just been on this journey since.
Wow. So what
Mm.
is it about? Because I know you're the PR baddie, period. Actually, my sister's studying PR. I'm gonna connect y'all because she needs a PR mentor.
Jeez.
You're so sweet. But what is it about like communications PR that like gets you going?
You know, it's so crazy. When I was in high school, Shonda Rhimes had, that whole, I'd say like 4 hours on ABC. And one of
On
my favorite
Thursdays.
shows was Scandal.
Mm.
And listen, Olivia Pope is not your traditional.
She's that girl.
Yeah, she's not your traditional like PR specialist, but I was always intrigued with like the fixers of
Mm.
the world. And at that age, around 17, 18, I was already sort of being mentored by my dad's publicist. I was always intrigued with what she was doing. I always knew I wanted to work, if not with my dad, like for him. I knew I wanted to,
Yeah.
you know, be included in the family business.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it was really Olivia Pope. My dad actually calls me Pope. That's his little nickname.
I love that.
And I
Pope
call him
Smear.
Command. Yeah, I call him Command because when he calls, hello, what? What now? But no, it's super fun. And communications is just, I've always been truly intrigued by, your relationship with the consumer.
Mm.
It changes over time. It's a challenge. I love a challenge. Uh, I sound really nerdy when I talk about my
No, I
dad.
love this. I agree. I mean, the world we're seeing right now, I think when I think PR, I think of the biggest PR fail I've ever seen. Not maybe not ever, but one of, which was Popeyes in summer 2020.
Ooh,
Why did they
ooh.
tweet um what was it? Black Lives Matter. Popeyes would be nothing without black people. To me, that is like like that's interesting. Who approved this?
Oh, you already know who approved it. I was like,
Can do.
no, right? I was like, exactly. But it's things like that because when I worked at PepsiCo to see, how much work went into making those decisions, like copy
Mm.
did not leave my desk until it was checked on by a good 12 people. Like we have to make
Wow.
sure that it resonated not only with me, because it'd be easy, like I like this.
Yeah.
Let's tweet this out. But we got to make sure because something can mean one thing to you and I, and culturally it just means something completely different to someone like
Mm.
in America,
Yep.
Prague, or wherever. And so we have to make sure we check all those boxes. And so I'm no
Mm.
longer with PepsiCo, but that 5 years really, really helped me because now that I'm working with my dad again, I can come back and apply, that knowledge. And even for myself, because I've been doing a lot of branding for myself. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, you know what? When I work with, certain brands, I can take, you know, my knowledge of like copy and things like that. Because I've even helped, like, you know what, that doesn't feel right.
Mm.
Maybe if we get a hashtag, you know, it'll sound better. So
Wow,
you
that's
know,
amazing.
everything is for like a lesson. And you can apply it later. It don't
Girl,
feel like at the time.
who you telling? No, literally.
Mm.
Literally, that's amazing though that you can see how it's all connected. To your point, it doesn't always look that way at the time, but it's nice when we can step back and years later be like, okay, God, I see how you worked that out. So you said that last year was a really poignant year for you. Like, can you pinpoint moments why, or was that when you started working for your dad? Like, what was it, do you think, that stood out?
Well, I left PepsiCo, and it was another one of those. I'm very introspective. I know myself very well.
Mm.
And I found myself after, you know, 4.5, 5 years getting comfortable again. The
Wow.
job formulaic. I knew what was gonna happen when I woke up
Mm.
every morning. I said, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna take that 9 a.m., you know, I'm gonna have a meeting with the team. We're gonna go out and do our own separate things, more meetings.
Mm.
And I just wasn't being challenged anymore.
Yeah.
It was really hard because I had a lot of people
Mm.
I'm, you know, not so close with anymore, because we'll get to that. But
And
I had
Will.
people in my corner who were telling me, no, stay. You're making
Mm.
good money. This is an opportunity a lot of people don't get, and they're correct, but you have to know what's best for yourself. And
Sure.
I just knew like this is not it for me. I was
Mm.
26. I was like, that you want me to stay? Because I had like my grandmother wanted me to retire with the company. I'm 26. I'm not thinking about
Oh,
retiring.
wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know, because you know our elders are all about benefits and pensions and
Okay,
things.
come on, pension.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
financial stability, and I heard that, but I said if it's not now, then when is it?
Then when?
And
Mm.
nobody had an answer, so I just made this. Ooh, I made a very impulsive decision. I don't recommend that.
Gay period.
I mean, it literally was just a random Tuesday in May, and I
And you said
said
that's it.
I typed up that email.
Wow.
I was like, "Thank you for your services." I'm taking my talents elsewhere. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I still am very close. Like one of my mentors, Derek Lewis, he was one of like the top earning African American, you know, out of men and women at PepsiCo. He's no
Wow.
longer with the company, but he from my first day to my last day, he was an incredible mentor to me. And like he's still actually helping me in terms of food service, because I'm about to start helping out my dad's restaurant chain. So he's been an incredible
Period.
girl.
Wow. So, okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. So,
Yeah.
now, what's your like official title? I know sometimes with family titles can be a little tricky, but what are you doing? Like, what does your day to day look like? Because I imagine working with family definitely has its perks and it definitely has its challenges. And I've experienced it is magnified a little bit when they're in the spotlight. So tell me about that.
The perks is a short list. No, I'm kidding.
Wait.
Kidding. I'm sorry. Hmm. So I'll tell you this. I have never been disillusioned. I know the fact that I am someone who benefits from nepotism. I've never been afraid of that conversation
Yeah.
ever in life. I always known that I'm a very privileged person in all aspects
Yeah.
of life. I don't take any of these opportunities for granted. And
Yeah.
the way that my siblings and I were brought up, my father and my mother, honestly, they come from a military family background.
Mm.
So coming up, we knew that this is what was going to happen. We were going to work with or for the family business, especially me because I'm the eldest. And
Right.
so not only was there an expectation,
Mm.
but there was, you know, a little pressure.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Not too much. And they definitely gave me the freedom to explore the things that I wanted to do. But you know, I ended up because parents, they'd be doing that Mr. Miyagi reverse psychology stuff on you. Because I swore I wasn't gonna be working with Shaquille at all.
Wow.
Sure. I did. I told myself, I don't want nothing to do with them. I'm done. I see him all the time. I don't want it. And
And
we
here
were like,
you are, right? That's how it
100%.
goes, though. That's really how
It
it
is.
goes.
It really is because honestly, there's no one who knows the brand, the Shaq brand, the Shaquille O'Neal brand, like he does, like I do. There's no
Yep.
one who cares like he does,
Mm,
like I do, like my brothers and sisters do. We have a different level like of investment. And
mm,
so I argue with anyone like who better. He's had to study families like the Hiltons
mm.
to see like literally he calls it the Paris defense.
The
He's
parents' defense.
he's had me study Paris Hilton from the top to the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, that's heiress behavior. He just told me this is what I want. This is not, he
Mm.
tells us all the time he doesn't work for himself. I'm not doing all this. You see these commercials, you see these printers I'm selling. I'm not doing
Printers.
this for me. He's like, I'm not doing this for me. He's like, I'm doing this for y'all.
Wow.
When y'all are working, thinking about like think about that for the
Mm,
next generation to come. So it's
wow.
a mindset that I've definitely adopted from both of my parents because my mom's like, I didn't go to college and get my master's and get my PhD so you could just no.
Be out here,
Mm-mm.
right?
What's
Right.
next?
Right. Wow. That's amazing. Okay. That actually brings up a really good point. So, a couple of points. My first question, I know your dad has famously said,
Mm,
like, I like we ain't rich, I'm rich. Is that the quote? Like, don't
yes.
get it twisted, kids. Like, and this is outsider perspective, but like, don't get it twisted. Like, you can't just come up here asking for some money. Like, what's the business plan? Like, education seems extremely important in your family. We're the same way. Like, do not get it twisted. And I feel like there's a common misconception. I totally love your disclaimer, I guess, about privilege. And I love saying that too. It's absolutely true. But let's be
Mhm.
very honest. There's no world where you're going up to your dad asking for 10K and he's just going to dish it out to you. Do you feel like that's a common misconception about your family, given the saturation I feel like of your dad in all these spaces?
Oh, it's girl, I've lost friendships, acquaintances, all sorts of things because
Wow.
this is better than anyone. It's hard to argue with people's assumptions of you or their expectations of you. And I used to go back and forth with people. I
Me
used to,
too.
my face turned blue. I used to be like, but now it's not even something. Okay, if that's what you think, go on.
Cool. Right.
But we know ourselves, we know our families, and that's just not the business that we standing on. My dad was like, I'm not about to give you X amount of dollars. What are you gonna do with it?
Mm.
Until you can figure that out, until you can oh, he did me so crazy one time.
Oh no.
I don't even remember what I asked for. I think I asked for it was some type of like I went to a private school, mind you, so just there's that context.
Okay. Okay.
It was like a Louis Vuitton, like a never full tote bag.
A classic.
All the girls had
Yes.
it.
The
And
OG.
instead of backpacks, the girls were carrying.
Whoa. In high school?
Now this is middle school. I went to public school in high school. Ugh. It's like,
Wait. The girls are carrying Neverfulls instead of backpacks in middle school?
in middle school, I'm talking like I'm in seventh grade, eighth grade. Like, what is that? And I had a friend
Whoa.
like, girl, you don't have this. Ain't you Shaq's daughter? You should. I should. And so I run home. Mom, put him on the phone. The girl said, I'm supposed to have this bag. And he's like, well, do the girls know how to balance a checkbook? Because you don't. And he was like, and until you know how to balance a checkbook, you ain't getting none of that. I was like, oh,
Whoa.
okay.
Okay.
It makes
What else do
sense.
you say to that? He checked you.
No, because I didn't even know what a checkbook was. That's it.
And
Right,
I
right.
know.
I don't
Right.
need it. He's always
Wow.
been very quick to kind of manage our,
Yep.
our expectations. But yeah, I had no business wanting that anyway. It's just the way I grew up was just so funny, so cute. But
That
both
is
of them,
insane. I mean, Neverfull in middle school, like That's a tax bracket I really can't
Oh,
comprehend at that
mm.
age. That is wild. But honestly, like, I'm sure in the moment that was very humbling, but I'm sure now you're just so grateful that
I
you
know
were
if,
checked and cleared.
if I would have started there, honey,
Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? I'm
I'd have
scared.
never known a taxi. I'd have never did any of that.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Because you have to be grounded. You have to start somewhere. And like, as you mentioned, like your dad is like household name, face is a business, everything's a brand, like I can't imagine, my brother wasn't famous from the time I was born. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different level of fame. And so I'm sure your parents clearly they were very diligent about how they wanted y'all raised.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's funny too because my siblings and I, we have different mothers, so we were raised similarly, but differently. But like I
Mm,
said, my mom's a mental health professional, so I kind of I didn't really, I wasn't exposed to everything I'm allowing myself to be exposed to now
mm,
until I was probably 17 or 18. But
mm.
before that, it was just, oh, we didn't even know you had another daughter because my mom had me ducked off in the
Wow.
the suburbs of Sugarland, Texas. Because
Period.
I was down there in the South.
Wow. And your
And I,
half siblings were obviously in LA.
yeah, they were, God bless them, all over. That's the one thing. And I give them so, I always check on them because that's another misconception. A lot of people assume that because I'm the oldest, I did all the moving from LA to Miami to Cleveland. No, I was in Houston the whole time. I visited.
Wow.
That was my siblings. And I give them all the props in the world because
Yeah.
I was complaining hopping on a plane
Right.
once a month. I was like, so I couldn't like I talked to my brother Sharif the other day and I was like, what was that like? He said, man, he was like, I'm still tired.
Right. Still in therapy,
Yeah, he's
okay?
I'm still tired. Because they would just, you know what it's like when, people get traded. Like you
I mean,
just
the NBA is a business. They don't care who you are. They will trade you immediately. Like they don't care.
no, I remember when my dad got traded to the Heat, it was like one of the first times I was ever with him while it happened. And we were just
Mm.
sitting eating breakfast and ESPN, Shaquille O'Neal traded to the Miami Heat. I'm like, but we in LA.
So what's this?
What's that mean?
Wow.
And he
Because
just
it's
got
just
up.
another day.
Yeah. And then he's such a G. He was like, let me go make some calls. What is that? I was so mad at the Lakers. The whole organization could have got these hands. I was like
Period.
8 years old, like, whatever. Who cares? And even now, like I was my brother just moved to Miami, so I've been checking on him every other weekend and
Wow.
to fight because we were in his building, and that's something I'm gonna ask you about that because I'm new to having siblings in the limelight. I'm
Mhm.
the eldest, and so just structurally as the oldest,
Yeah.
you just built to protect yours. And
Mm.
it's so hard for me. It's still something to this day that I struggle with. It's so hard for me to watch them go through what they're going through. But we were in his
Wow.
building, and privacy is such a big thing for me, especially where you lay your head.
Oh, I
And
was about to ask you a question about privacy. Go ahead and talk about it.
I said it's just such a big thing. It's something that I think we all take for granted, especially, I don't even know how to address them, the fans, the spectators, the followers, y'all. I was like,
You
it's
must
hard,
relax.
just a little bit. But we were in his mail room and people were like, oh my God, Shaq's son lives here. Shaq's son. Hey, 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 relax, please.
Wait,
I was
didn't
like,
he just move in?
we were literally like talking to, management about, where the garage was, how this, and people just trying to blow up his spot already. And I just
Mm,
take my siblings' safety so seriously.
mm.
And I know people just be ready to, get their pictures and do that, but they don't
Yeah.
know. There's been so much happening, with less information.
Yes.
Yeah, I just always make sure, like, guys, keep your head on swivel. Make
Mm.
sure, don't post nothing until you leave, things like that. And it's sad that we have to do that, but my car's been broken into multiple times. I've had people try to follow me to and from places. I can't I can't risk anything.
Absolutely, especially being a Black woman. I mean, like, let's take it a step further.
Let's do it.
1,000,000%. 1
Yeah.
million even, like, for me, it's like, I live in Chicago, and I'm like, "I wanna do more Chicago content, like, day in the life," and I'm like, I don't even feel comfortable, honestly, pulling out my phone on the street and letting you see the building behind me because you can track exactly where I am. Like, you see so many people getting doxxed right now, like, we're leaking people's families' phone numbers because they said something about Nicki Minaj, like, imagine with these basketball players. So I completely think that's valid. And I think it's something that takes, unfortunately, it's something that you have to adjust to. But at the same time, it's like, why should I have to adjust to this? This isn't real life. Like, what?
It's a daily battle of
Yeah.
mine. And I went through a stage where I was a little resentful. I
Mm,
don't want to say of my father, but I'll say of our circumstances
mm,
because, it's something that I personally did not ask for. I was born and
right.
this,
Into it.
yeah, I was like, this was it. And there's just been so many, things that I've missed because of security concerns. Like to this day, I'm upset about my high school graduation. I get my diploma, and I'm ready to like mix and mingle and say goodbye to people. I got whisked away because of
Wow.
security. And so there's little things like that. I couldn't go to homecomings. I couldn't like things like that because of security concerns. And while I understand as a grown woman, there's just those monumental things that as a teenager, I'll never be able to get those moments back. And so
Mm.
it just really just grinded my gears a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Um,
something that's so real and it's not talked about. I always talk about the big moments that were missed because you tell me how you feel about this. So I'm sure there's been very few big moments of your dad's that you've missed. Like for
no,
my brother, I cannot name many big moments he's had that I've missed. And if I've had to miss them, it's like truly because like there
yeah.
was no way right? But because of the nature of security and the NBA scheduling and all these things, being an analyst, like the schedule's horrendous, as you know, better than anyone. Most of my big moments have been missed because of that.
Yes.
And so there really is, and not to your dad's fault, my brother's fault. It's not their fault. It's just truly something that you do have to grapple with, that resentment, and figure out where to place it and where to direct it, because that's a very real thing.
Oh, it's very ill. I so I just recently started therapy last year, actually, after I left my job. My argument therapy, twins. Love
Yes,
it.
every week.
Love it. Shout out to Martha.
Period.
But I didn't realize that I had repressed a lot of those feelings, a lot of those emotions, because our family structure, since I was born and even before then, since my father was 15 years old, has always been catered towards my dad.
Yep.
We always want to do what's best for dad. We always want to make everything
Mm.
easier for dad so he
Yep.
can go out and do what he needs to do, in support of the family. But that's
Yeah.
always the structure. And so coming up, you know, when kids are born, it's about the kids, sure, but daddy got a game at seven
Mm.
o'clock. Put these clothes on, sit in the back.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what it was. And so it was really hard for me growing up to be like, oh, so we just gotta sit back, be quiet. When it's time for us to, be played with, be dealt with, that's our time. And then
Mm.
after that, okay. And then it was especially hard for me because I wasn't raised in the same household with my father. And so it was like my time got cut in half a little
Wow.
bit. And so I just took what I could get
Mm.
and kind of learned because it's something that his siblings had to deal with before he had kids. It's something that my
Wow.
grandmother had to deal with before he had fans. And they all just grinned and bared it. And so I said,
Yeah.
let me shut the hell up. Y'all
Right.
not talking about it.
Literally.
Let me be quiet.
But
And
it's
so
valid. It's
it's
valid.
very valid, but I didn't know that until I was about to explode because I
Yeah.
didn't know who to go to. like I said, I'm the eldest. I'm a very prideful person. That's something I'm working on. I didn't want to go to my younger siblings with that.
Mm.
Do y'all ever feel like I didn't see it. I
Mm.
didn't see that for me. And so
Right.
I went to therapy and she was like, you have every right to your feelings.
Wow.
And I just had a lot of resentment towards my upbringing
Mm.
because what I learned from that, just be quiet, go with the flow. What I learned from that was what bothers me doesn't matter. What I'm dealing
Wow.
with doesn't matter. As long as he's good and he's able to do what he needs to do to provide for the family, everything you got going on can sit and wait.
Wow.
And it did, but it compounded.
Yeah.
And so what I'm having to deal with now is kind of like unlearning all of these, what I thought were truths. I have to unlearn those. I have to
Yes.
like reestablish all these new guidelines and principles and morals, which I feel very grateful and in such a privileged place to do so. But
Mm.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot
Mm.
of work. I'm sure you know that too. And
Yeah.
I was able to talk with my father about that, and I was scared,
Yeah.
everybody
That's a
leave
tough
him,
talk.
yeah, leave him alone. Don't bother him with nothing. And he said thank you.
Mm.
No one ever tells me what's real. Everyone just,
Come
yeah,
on. You're
just
right. The
thank
smile and
you.
nod.
And literally, that's everything. How's everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we've been closer than ever, honestly. And I'm never resentful of him. It's
Right.
just the circumstances around everything. I wish we could have learned how to deal with that a little bit better.
Mm.
But now, like I'll talk to anybody. My
Right.
siblings, we finally started having those discussions, and it's been really, really powerful. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like the way you came up, and this is something that my grandmother told me, she was like, then just address it and fix it going forward.
Mm.
And so I said, period. It
And
be
that's what we
fixed.
gonna do. Look, when she puts it that way, it sounds so simple.
I said, it is hard.
It is. It is. And like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm in one of my therapy sessions right now. 1,000,000% your feelings are valid. And it's also like, I don't know, for me, when you were saying, your dad's siblings had to deal with that, that's like where I'm at is like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I see my brother whatever amount of time, but he has his own family now too. So and when your baby siblings start having their own families too, it's just like, wow, like my brother is now a dad. In what world is this possible? Like, my brother has a bunch of kids, and it's just really wild to kind of see that. And my therapist told me, you have to grieve some parts of your childhood and the way you grew up and like realize it's not the way you wanted it to be. But to your point of what your grandma said, now what? Like we can't
Yeah.
stay there, but now what?
No, we can't. Because I was in that, like, I'm mad. I'm just
Mm,
mad as hell. It didn't go
yeah.
like this. It didn't go like that. I'm not where I want to be. And then they're like, okay, that's cute. But now what?
Right.
So where are we going to
Right.
take it from here? So I've just genuinely just been walking out on faith. Whatever
Phew.
feels right, that's what's going to get done over here. And it's a new space for me because I used to be the master playing it safe.
Mm,
High school, college, masters. And then it
period.
was like, oh, what now? It's like,
Wow. Yeah. And
yeah,
having to
I just,
confront that.
yeah, having to really sit with myself and be like, what do you truly, genuinely want for yourself? Because I didn't
Mm,
have the answers to those questions, and I still don't have all of them, but I'm a lot closer than I was even like 8 months ago. Because I didn't know how to do that. I felt like my steps were already, lined up. I'm gonna go
mm,
work for dad and do whatever he needs me to do while I'm doing that, and
right.
that's
Right.
it for the rest of your life.
That's tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
it's
That's really tough. That's such a good point. And, it's interesting. I want to talk really quickly about your siblings. So you brought up, how you lived in a different home.
yeah.
And my siblings, we don't use half whole. We just, my
Oh,
brother, you, my
same.
sister.
Okay.
How was your relationship with them? Like, how was it maybe impacted, I guess is the right word, living in different homes? I mean, I think about stuff as simple as this. So like my two older siblings, my brother and my older sister, have the same parents, and then my younger sister and I have the same parents. Together, we're the group of us. But I think about like some moments where those like dumb little online articles, like I don't know who these people are that are writing them, and I don't know since when am I married with two kids. I didn't know that. But like the people that write those articles, and like you'll see like yourself like left out in some of those, and like pictures you left out of. How did that alter your psyche? How did it alter your relationship with them, if it did at all?
Ugh. Oh no, it definitely, I won't say it altered my relationship with my siblings because that's the really great thing about my parents, really our entire set of parents. That's so funny to me.
Yeah.
My mom, Arnetta, my dad, and Shawnee, they were all raised within blended families. And so,
Nice.
not to say that our situation is ideal, but they were like the ideal parents to have in that situation because they came from it. So they knew how to
Mm.
kind of, you know, lead us through all the sort of, you got to navigate those situations
Okay.
sometimes, but it was still really, really challenging because my parents met in Texas. My mom is from Texas, and that's where I was raised.
Mm.
And, my dad was living in Los Angeles, so it was really hard. I had like a million flight miles by the time I was like
I'm sure
9.
you did.
I was on the go. And
Yeah.
I am my mother and father's only child. And then Shawnee had a son from her first marriage, my brother
Yep.
Miles. And then together they have 4 children. And
Yep.
so it was me by myself 24/7, 365. And then all of a sudden, I'm the eldest of 5
Wow.
kids. And it was just, hey,
How y'all doing?
okay. And
Yeah.
like I love my siblings. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're like the cutest thing, even at 6'12". I think that's so cute.
Seven
Um,
foot giants couldn't be
yeah,
cuter.
huge. And I'm so this is my baby brother. She's
Yes, and is and forever will be. What?
very mild. I don't care. I will embarrass you, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really, it was a bit challenging growing up just because like you said, I would get left out of the narrative. I'd be addressed as the mystery child or
Ooh.
just not addressed at all. I remember I was in the computer lab in, let's say, like second grade or something, and Google Images was like the hottest
Ooh,
thing.
girl. That'll
And
source some
someone,
trauma right there.
girl, how much time we got? One of my classmates was like, "Oh my gosh, Tahir's dad is famous. Let's look up pictures of him." And then they Google Shaq. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my dad. Okay, cute." Close the desktop, and they were like, "No, let's look up, Shaq's family." And I
Mm,
had never done that before, and so I'm a little
mm,
curious, but at the same time, I'm like, "Oh."
mm.
And then they look, and it's just dad and Shawnee and the kids, and just you keep going, and there's no me, which I'm not a public figure, not to say that I should have been up there, but it really, because that was the first time I'd ever really understood that there was public intrigue
Wow.
in not only my father, but our family as a whole.
Yep.
And I remember going home, I took one of the school laptops home, and I was like, Taahirah O'Neal, shouldn't have done it.
Wow. The curiosity killed the cat.
Kills the cat every time. Every single time. I shouldn't have done that because it just opened up. I apologize to my mom every time because I remember I had the laptop open and she came in my room like, damn it, all this work I did. And here you go.
You erasing it with
Oh,
one Google search.
really? I was mortified.
Wow.
I mean, there was nothing horrible, but they had my age and my height and where I lived and my mom's name and all these things. And it was like, oh, people people care.
Yeah.
It just was. It was challenging. I always tell people like we don't have that tradition. And when I say us, I mean like myself and my five siblings, because I wasn't raised with them. We don't have that typical nuclear family
Yeah,
relationship. I don't
same.
talk to them every day, unfortunately. But what works for us works for us. I tell people all the time, we are in a co-ed frat. Okay. It's like, we got something in common. And it's and every time we see each other, it's like,
What's up?
and then like I saw them yesterday. It was my baby sister Miara's senior night because
Oh, cute.
she's about to go be a Florida Gator.
Oh,
We're going to Gainesville, America. We're going to Gainesville. Be prepared.
let's go.
No, and so we had to go and show up, and it was like the whole family. Like I'm talking my mom, me, my dad, and Shawnee and her husband Keon, and all the kids. Like that's how we're coming. We too grown
True.
for anything else. And so
Mm.
it's just been really, really beautiful. Because as the eldest, like I saw a lot, and the maturity, like I said, won't he do it? Look at us. I said, look at us.
Don't get
Amen.
me started.
I said, look at us sitting here as a
Wow.
family unit. I love it so much. But no, it's just definitely something you have to learn how to navigate. I don't feel slighted in any way, shape, or form, but I had my moments because
Mm.
when you don't understand that there's public intrigue in not only your life, but your, celebrity relatives' lives
Yeah.
and like, oh, it does a number on you. Like even like my Instagram following, I had a private account all throughout high school and college, and really online until I was probably 26. Yeah, last year sometime. And then I went public, and literally the last 8 months, I've gone from like 5,000 followers to like 20,000 something, which
Oh
is
my
it's
gosh.
not much to some, but I
No,
don't know.
that is much because it's the intrigue you're talking about.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
are y'all doing? What?
They see O'Neal and that's it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I've been trying to sit still for a little bit because now it's such a bigger audience, and just being a PR professional, I
Mm.
want to be really responsible, not only to myself and my brand, but I have to always think about the overarching brand, which is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And those little cute reels that I was posting before about like I was at brunch. We got twisted. I gotta make sure I'm not posting, things that conflict with, unfortunately I don't only represent myself.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. I will never forget. I always say this on the show. My brother grabbed me one night. We were out and he said, it was like a team outing. And he was like, don't embarrass me. Remember, I work here. And those words ring through my mind.
You're right.
I said, let me
You're
cool
right.
out. Let me cool out.
Oh, oh, yeah. And I'm a
Yeah.
late bloomer, I'll be honest with you. I tell people all the time I was a nerd, but I just have a type A
Me
personality.
too.
I have like a race horse's focus, like a laser focus. And
Mm.
whatever I set my mind to, I'm going hard until it's done. And in high school, since I struggled a lot in high school, I went from a private school for 16 years to a public school. And
Mm.
just that alone, that culture shock, the grades were terrible. My attendance was questionable. I just did not want to be there. And so I didn't graduate with a high GPA. And so I had to really redeem myself. I felt like I had to redeem myself. I went to
Yeah.
community college, which ended up helping me out. And then I got to Oglethorpe, which is where I ended up graduating
Right.
from. I'm just one of those people like, okay, you're not gonna catch me slipping like that again.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Ah, literally.
Yeah. And so I just from I want to say I graduated 2014 from high school. From 2014 to like I want to say 2022, I was just laser focused. Like, what's next? What's next? Let's
Mm.
do that. Let's do that. I wasn't going out. I didn't have many friends. I was really reclusive actually. Like it was me and this laptop,
Period.
me and my car. going wherever I needed to go.
Yeah, you and Google search.
Ooh, oh, exactly. I was like, so I'm
Yeah.
allowing myself a lot more grace and
That's huge.
yeah, it's because I don't know, I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. There's nobody else out here putting pressure on me like I am.
Like me? What?
So we gotta talk to ourselves. Self
Yes. It's me versus
relax,
these thoughts, baby. Yes, exactly.
get down a notch. And so I told myself last year, you've been real hard. And like I had moments where I would put myself in the hospital from the
Wow.
anxiety, just being overwhelmed.
Wow.
Oh, me and the people down in Houston Methodist or Emory out here in Atlanta, we see each other. And then, oh, she's bad. Give her some oxygen. She didn't have another. No,
No.
it was like that. I was completely like overwhelming myself.
I'm sure.
Point of no return. And so I said, we just gonna do like everything that I didn't allow myself to do. I'm doing it now. My
Good.
mom, okay, okay. All right, give me a location. But okay. But no, I'm
Yeah.
having a lot more fun. I never allowed myself to do that before. Fun felt like distraction. Fun felt like
Mm.
straying from the plan. Um,
Right. Wow.
and now I'm like, it's a responsibility almost. I'm trying to master balance, delegation, things
Come
like that.
on.
We're not supposed to be here 24/7.
You're really reading me right now. Go ahead, keep going. I'm sweating.
Yes. Get up.
Get up. I interviewed so my last interview was Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she was like, my worst fear is being so busy building my life that I miss it. And I was like,
Yes.
wow, that's a whole word.
Chills.
Yeah.
Chills. I do that this last, oh, like when I was texting you, this last 2 weeks with my father.
Fighting for your life. I felt so bad.
I said, Dad, can we sit down? No, we gotta conduct business and I'm trying to build a bit. Ah,
Enough with all that. I'm getting PTO.
I said it is 9:30 p.m.
Wow. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
he
just a
doesn't
lot.
he doesn't stop. He's on set filming a commercial for the General right now. It does not stop.
Because one thing about your dad, I'm gonna see him on Hulu every commercial break, and I respect. Do you ever? Because okay, this is kind of a topic change, but I feel like the finals for me, like final season, is like the worst because I can never get away. Like my brother, he does commercials. Like there was a little Subway stint for a little bit where I was like, okay, I've seen enough. I'm gonna go order the footlong. But I feel like for you, do you ever feel like okay, especially because you work for your dad? It's like can we turn it off for just a second?
Oh my God. And then like I'm behind the scenes now, so I see the treatments. I know what's coming. And then like it goes live. I'm like, all right, next.
Because
But
he's
no,
gonna sell a printer, and I respect it.
you can sell water to the ocean. My dad is a salesman. He's so funny to me. We were on the plane this morning. He was like, "Can you hand me my journal?" I was like, oh, "Okay." I went and got him his journal, and he was like, "Look inside of it." And I looked inside the journal. Mini Pepsi cans, rap music in the back. What? He's like, that's I'm thinking of treatments for the next commercial. It was, I can't make this up. He's one of them. He's like literally every page was
Just
him.
going. That's a gift. That's a gift,
It
honestly.
really is. I tell people all the time because I know it's easy to believe, like, even with your brother, like, people just assume that these are just dumb jobs. They
Mm,
just get told where to go, get told
yeah.
what to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've seen your brother in action. There's not nothing that he's doing that he don't have control over.
And that's the unlock right there.
I was like, and same with my dad. My dad looks at every treatment, reads it, wants to talk to marketing, wants to talk to PR, wants to talk to development. Like when I
Period.
PepsiCo, ooh, and I told my boss, please do not have me on a project that my dad is on, just out of respect for me. And every time, every time, oh, my
No, because you know how it is behind the scenes, and y'all probably have similar brains. You're obviously not the same people, but some of that is DNA, baby. Like, don't put two and two together.
oh, please don't. And he would just, oh, it was like the last call I had when I was on the team. And it was a camera off day because it was a camera off day. And he
Yeah.
got said, let me see my daughter's face. I'm not starting a meeting until I see my daughter's face. And so on it had to get snatched off. Yes, hello. Hi.
No. Because you're not about to embarrass me on my 9 to 5.
And I'm in the chat. You make me sick.
That is so funny. Do you ever feel like, okay, so I think about this, kind of goes back to our last conversation about like big moments. Do you ever feel, okay, let me back up. I saw a video of your graduation from Oglethorpe. You know what I'm about to say. First of all, the fact that a 2.5 minute video gets, let's call it 5 million views about your graduation, just I think shows the saturation in a great way of just everyone loves your dad, everyone loves your family. Okay, cool. But I remember watching and being triggered and taking it to my therapist because I was like, oh wait, not we're the same. But okay. But I remember hearing someone shout to your dad, I hate Charles Barkley too, or something of that nature. And the same thing, not the Charles Barkley statement, the same thing happened to me at my commencement. And I guess I'm wondering, like, at what point for you does it get to be, what's the right word? At what point does it get to be like, okay, this is my moment. Okay, this is my thing. Because, you know, what made me think of this is like at your job, you're like, okay, this is my name's on the check, my name's on the direct deposit. And because of the giganticness of your dad's shadow that it casts, like, not by any fault of his own, it does kind of probably make you feel some type of way, right?
Oh, all the time. Like I
Yeah.
said, we go like this. But it was really hard and it's still hard to navigate because my father, because of the career that he chose, he missed a lot of moments and not because he wanted to. He said, screw those moments. It's just scheduling, you know. And
Yes.
so ever since he retired in 2011, we've all made like a vested effort into, you know, not only helping him and allowing him to be a part of, you know, our significant moments going forward, but you know, just getting used to him because if I'm being real, and I hope you don't get offended when I say this, the way our family was structured, we were perfectly just structured to kind of operate without him being here. We were so used to him
Yeah.
not being here. Our moms had schedules, we had nannies and all sorts of our aunts and uncles, like shout out to the auntie and uncle
The
gang.
village.
They, they held us down. I was like, so everyone, like our whole village took care of us. So we never felt like his presence was truly, truly missing. But
Yeah.
now, and it's so different because he's at a different level than even he was in his prime, which
Wow.
is to kind of because back in the day, the fans were the sports fans, but now I got people like, "Ooh, girl, now I got people who don't even, that's the pizza man.
Wow. That's such a good point.
The
That's a
insurance guy.
great point. Yes.
Kids know him, don't even know that he played for the NBA. They have no frame of reference. They don't talk
Just
about
that
these
big man that talk about pizza and printers. Yeah.
Papa John's man. And so he's loved by every demographic, every race, everybody.
Yeah.
So it's really overwhelming. But like my graduation, and I'll be for some context, since community college, actually, I've made a decision to use my mother's maiden name, which is Yardbrough, that's why I call myself Taya, because it's legally Taahirah Cherie Yardbrough O'Neal. And so I was going by Taahirah Yardbrough all throughout college and
Gotcha.
a bit through my PepsiCo journey. Until, you know, people start Googling you and you're like,
And then it's over. Yeah.
you got me.
No, but that makes sense. That makes sense.
But I genuinely, I probably only told maybe 10 to 12 people, like my closest friends, about, you know, my dad, my family, because the people who know me, they know I'm not coming up off no secret. It's not even a secret, but I'm not about to be like, hi, I'm Taahirah, Shaq's daughter.
Because it's not an intro. Exactly. Exactly. Because for what? It's going to make your life worse. Like, it's going to make it tougher. Why do that?
This is Publix. Why am I? We at the
Publix?
Why am I introducing myself to you like this? And so just have that context.
Yeah.
Graduation. My dad has never been on this campus. I've been on this campus 3.5 years. People just been seeing me. And like I said, I'm damn near reclusive at this point. So
wow, yeah.
he come and sit down. And then of course he can't sit down regular. We got a camera. Mics and everything. I'm mic'd up.
Yeah. And you need 2 chairs for him, probably. So that alone.
Yeah. And so my classmates was, what? Hmm? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, literally, it was hilarious, but I did feel bad because like I'm literally like I'm graduating, I'm doing my whole thing, but they like, is that Shaq? Wait, your last name is O'Neal? I thought you
Wow.
yeah, so it was like a whole grand reveal. And then just like I got whisked away at my high school graduation, it was a security concern. I had to get whisked away. There's still people to this day I haven't been able to say goodbye to. And it's just those moments, but I'm never going to allow whatever you want to call it, the discomfort of those. I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to let my dad miss those moments. He missed enough of those moments. We've been in situations where he's been more than willing, like even at my sister's senior night, he asked, do you want me to stay home? I don't want it to be about me. This is your night. He's the sweetest. You're my dad. Where I go, you go. I don't care. I really don't. These people could relax for a couple hours. So they could calm down
We're
for
gonna
a
be all
minute.
right. Yeah.
No, literally, me and my mom were so protective. And my mom be like,
Love that.
leave him alone.
I love that.
But yeah, we it definitely depends. Like I had some, like I had an award that I accepted when I was working at PepsiCo, and he was like, "No, you're good. Like we'll celebrate. We'll have dinner after, but I want to make sure." So it works like that.
That's special.
He doesn't want us to feel like, because you know, your brother walk in, it could be your birthday,
And
you want
was.
that's we both going to therapy tomorrow. I already know.
I'm gonna text you what my therapist says, girl.
He said, "Hey, girl."
No, yeah, it's literally such a common thread, and that's why I just also just appreciate all your transparency. Like I think that breeds for just such beautiful conversation, but I think it's just even more of a emphasis on why these spaces are necessary, like for us to connect. You just don't feel crazy. Like this is my life, this is my reality, and though it's extremely wacky to others, my reality is my truth. And so the fact that you can share that openly, and when other people connect with that, you feel a little less isolated. Because yeah, I mean, it's your life, you have to own it.
100%. And that's what's been, it's so crazy because I grew up in Texas. There was no one with even like minutely similar circumstances to me. Like sure, I grew up with like the daughters and sons of doctors and lawyers, and I could
Right.
relate like like your dad's busy sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you see your daddy on TV the way I see my daddy on TV? No, that's just me. Okay. And then
Yeah,
I go to LA, and my siblings are like best friends with you know, Eddie Murphy's kids and Diddy's kids and things like that. And I used to be
right.
like, man, I wish I could just like the closest people I had who could understand were my siblings because I was so prideful, and I felt like as the oldest, I had to be this example,
Right.
this like this the epitome of like resolve and grace.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? What do you mean? I'm straight. And meanwhile, I'm like, oh.
Bring the older siblings therapy, y'all. I mean, for real. Like, this is an unfair burden.
It really is. And I be trying to tell them because my dad, I love him to death, but both my parents, they're the eldest siblings.
Okay.
So they don't give me no breaks.
Yeah.
They're like, we did this in the 80s.
24. Give us a break. The world's
So,
on fire. Like, what?
yeah. I'm like, oh, it's not different at all. Because
Yeah.
I love my siblings, I do, but I trust them. I know them. And so I really have like I don't even know what type of parenting. I tell all my friends, I'm a mother.
I'm a
These are
mother.
these are my kids.
My sons. Okay.
But I tell them, like when I was in Miami, I was like, Sheree, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you need anything, I'm there. I'm ready to fight.
Yeah. And I mean, a 1-2, a 1-2 hook.
Literally. I'm not gonna mess up my acrylics.
Okay. But I'm gonna call security to come fight you.
I'm gonna hit with this side.
Well, I think that's beautiful, and it's amazing hearing how that's just evolved for you, and it doesn't stop here, right? Like, I guess it's ever evolving. Before I let you go, because I just glanced at the clock and realized I've kept you 30 minutes longer than I said I would, I do have to ask you about relationships. I feel like
Before we do this, go ahead. A shout out to everyone.
literally me. No, I feel like this has to be discussed. How are we feeling about, I don't know your relationship status. You don't have to share that on here. We can talk about it after, but I guess I'm curious. What does it look like for you to date? Are we going near athletes, away from athletes? Are we bringing them home? When's the right time? How are we approaching the conversation? What's this look like for Taahirah?
Maybe girl. So I don't mind sharing. I am dating right now.
Period.
I just and no offense to athletes, but I was raised with athletes. It's a no-go for me.
It's a no for me.
It is a no-go. Y'all keep that over there. Respectfully. However you want to take it, that's how I meant it. But yeah, I was like, I have like the utmost respect for athletes. It's definitely, you know how it is. It's a different grind, but where I am in my life, especially growing up the way that I did, I don't want that for myself. I need something that is intentional. It's working towards something. I need your time, your presence. I really don't want to go toe to toe with someone's schedule, with someone's commitments. It's you know, I'm a busy woman myself, but I definitely I am a master at prioritizing. And so when it comes to me and my man,
what are we doing?
that's when I'm like, all of this little no. And so I would be damned if you miss my birthday for a basketball tournament.
Because there's just ain't no way.
Just triggered me. And now we arguing. It's over.
Yeah, literally.
But I'm in this space where I'm not really dating for marriage because I am a late bloomer. I didn't date throughout high school. I really didn't start dating until I was 21. And I'm so traumatized.
Okay.
By the dating pool at 21, I had to take another step back.
Because I heard Houston. I heard dating in Houston. The stuff I heard, I can't even say on here. I'm gonna have to text you offline. But I heard it's not the nicest. And
It's
Atlanta, like
it's all correct. Whatever you heard is correct.
no.
And it's like that here in Atlanta as well. Atlanta is a tricky city.
So I've heard. Very tricky is the right word.
It's interesting, but to answer your original question, because we're gonna chat offline.
And will.
But to answer your original question, yes, I am dating. What dating looks like for me is an interview process. It is. Like I said, my safety, and I'm not only talking like my physical safety, my emotional, my spiritual safety is of the utmost importance because before it wasn't. Before I didn't have boundaries. I kind of was the go with the flow type of girl. And, you know, it works for some. It was not working for me.
Yeah.
I was completely depleted of all energy because I would let these vampires come and just steal the life from me.
Wow.
And so now I got these men going through a very rigorous process. Who are you? Who do you want to be?
Yes. Yes.
Do you believe in God?
And I'm talking about Jesus. What God you believe in, right?
I want to know.
Yeah, yeah.
You like Beyonce? Yes or no? Wrong answer. This is so things like that. But my
Yeah.
parents are incredibly supportive. My dad, hilarious because he's been in the press talking about we can't date until we're 35. We can't date until
Okay, Dad.
Y
All
and
right.
Z. And I was me and my sister, we were incorrect.
Maybe you won't know till 35, but as for me in my house.
But now like you said, I'm a very transparent person. So like it was like last month. I was like, Dad, I'm going on a date. His name is this. He works here. And he's like, okay, I don't that was a lot. I don't thanks, but I trust you.
Seriously, I don't need to know all that next time.
That was a lot of information. And I was like, I thought that's what you wanted. And he was
Yeah.
like, I did too. He's like, I changed my mind. I don't want it at all. But no, they've been really supportive. And yeah, I mean, I love my village. I love the way because I was dating somebody like 2 months ago. I had no business dating.
Oh, wow.
I tell you, my friends, my family, they did that. We'd be so delusional sometimes. I'm
Delulu, blinded by the lights.
blinded. And I had one friend literally was like, girl, look at this post from 2017. Unacceptable. I said, you're right.
Because we need friends that'll go through the tagged photos for us on Instagram. We need
That's
those
it.
friends.
One deep dive. And I was like, oh, and you're blocked.
No.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that was
Period.
it. It's gonna be a work in progress, but I'm just in a really good space. I'm not afraid
Mm.
of whatever people probably assume that I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm not afraid of these people.
Yeah. Because what's there to be afraid of? I love that. And I just think, like, I don't know. I'm so excited for you. I feel like the rest of your 20s, like, it just sounds like there were like a lot of growing pains. And, we were talking a little bit before this. I'm right in the midst of them too. And I just think on the other side of that, there's just so much beauty that's just like waiting for you. And so I'm excited. I feel like beyond relationships, just career, everything is just going to flourish and thrive. And I'm going to be right on the sidelines here for it.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I just launched my own PR company. This is me walking out on faith. Everybody, Tile Communications is coming. My
That.
Thank you so much. Thank you, girl. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Okay, you have to send me the info. We'll link it and
I
everything.
will. I will. I'm
Okay,
working on like the back end of my website and everything right now.
perfect.
Woo. It is a process. My father, he will be one of my clients. Pray for me, but
Yay, but also praying, but also
yeah.
woo.
I said, "Cause baby, can I fire you? Because you be taking up all my time. I got others to get to."
Literally, we gonna need some extra help. That's
Um,
amazing. Good for
Thank
you.
you.
We love a leap of faith around here.
You got to take it, and that's why I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing your platform with
You.
me because you found that one like niche that needed to be spoken to. We don't, the girls don't know each other
Yeah.
like they,
And we need to.
we need to.
Yes. Yes.
We need to have like a dinner or something. Get the girls together.
I was thinking, I was like, should I just like make a big group chat and every time we have a guest, we just add them? Because I mean, for real, the support is like unmatched. And I always say, once you're a guest, you're a friend for life. Like if I have someone that I know can help you out, like a client, like I'm gonna pass them to you, and I know my guests do the same. Like it's family, period.
Yeah,
So I got you.
I got you. I was like, and I know my sister would love to chat with you because my sister, she's 22. That's
Oh
my
my
girl.
gosh, let's be besties.
My Mimi. Oh, that is my girl. We go together. I was like, so I know she would the chat, and she
Oh,
is that girl right there. She's everything.
oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's talk after this. Let's get connected 1,000,000%. Any parting words for the audience that just needs a little bit of help with owning their identity? What would your parting words be?
Well, when it comes to owning your identity, I'd say you really just have to go to back to, the drawing board. You have
Mm,
to ask yourself, what are your whys? When you get out of bed, what are the things that make you go, wow, that's impactful, that's meaningful.
yeah.
Uh, for me, it's crazy. I thought it was validation. I thought I needed, like Tinkerbell, I needed the applause,
Whoa.
encouragement to see another day. And I realized that that was like a trauma response. What
Mm,
I really, really needed was, that inner confidence, that ability to believe that I could and what I
yes.
could do, was possible, it was reachable.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely say just check in with yourself
Mm.
for sure because I know, and we just met, but I know you, sis. You're gonna do everything for everybody else.
Oh,
And
uh, not you reading.
just a little bit. Sorry if I'm loud. A little too
Lower
loud.
your tone, babes. No, but
Yeah.
it's because you can see yourself in other people. I'm like,
Yeah. No, you can't. I tell my friends, my siblings, even my parents, like
mm,
my parents, because I don't know if you're there yet, but you get to a certain point and it happens in the 20s. I want to say your late 20s when you start parenting your parents.
ooh.
Me and my parents, when I tell you the group chat is hilarious. Now listen, I'm sick of the both of y'all. One or both of y'all need to take a nap
Oh my God. Not one or both.
because I'm hearing word on the street is y'all running them up and y'all
Oh,
doing too much. Y'all need to sit down. So I be trying to handle it and they be trying to we just be in the group chat arguing.
yes.
But with love and
With
good
love,
intention.
of course, with love and grace. The same you give to yourself.
No, but exactly. But right now in the space that I'm in, everything I do is intentional.
Mm,
I was raised by God-fearing people.
mm,
I was raised to honor thy mother and father,
mm.
honor all my ancestors, really. I think I read somewhere that just we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And
Ooh,
I think of that every day when I wake up. When I look at myself in the mirror, I go, wow.
wow.
Not to put pressure on myself or anything, but it really stayed out of gratitude.
Wow.
We've come, the O'Nealls were sharecroppers in Dublin, Georgia.
Wow.
And to go from that to where we are now, how we're considered now, is such a blessing.
Mm,
And so I just every day I say, you know what, thank you for those
yeah.
sacrifices. My
Wow.
mother's side of the family, they come from, the hair industry. They were also farmers. And so I say, thank you for those sacrifices. Look where we are now. I'm going to honor it.
Mm,
I'm about to fumble this bag. I'm not about to fumble these opportunities. My grandmothers, single parents, had my grandma had my mom at 14. My
wow.
dad's mom had him at 17. And look what
Wow.
they created.
That's
It's beautiful.
wild.
And so I'm not about to be the one in the story that's
Messing
today.
it up.
Yeah, it's not gonna be me.
That's such a good point. I love that gratitude perspective. I'm gonna start saying I'm gonna do it after I do my makeup because there's no way I'm their wildest dreams looking like that when I first wake up. But after I'm gonna start that
Oh,
affirmation. That's so good. Oh my gosh, you are just so wise and beautiful and amazing. And I am your number one fan. I knew you were my kindred spirit when you came on with giving us angles, like my fave. No, y'all, the first thing I said to Hero was, please tell me what your hair blend is because I need that immediately. Like,
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put it in the comments
I
below.
appreciate, yeah, we'll share it. But I just seriously appreciate you so much, and I'm rooting for you. And this is just the beginning of something special. And you're always welcome back.
You and a thug cry, you know, mechanical.
Thugs
No,
can be soft too, y'all.
all the time. Thank you. No, my dad, man up. Shut up.
Not now.
Shut up. With the gold bond reference. Get out my face. But no, thank you so much, love. I really, really appreciate you. You made my day.
You made my day. Yay, that was so good. Thank you so much, Taahirah, for coming on. You know, I'm such a big fan of hers. I think she is a star. She's a star now. She's a star in the making. Like, keep your eye out for her. You can find all her info tagged right here, or we'll link it down below as well. But make sure y'all go support, especially because it's Black History Month. So if you're not supporting a young Black creative, what are we even doing? I think that so much of our conversation reflected my therapy sessions, but I loved what she said about just confronting feelings of resentment, confronting feelings of, oh, this kind of isn't what I wanted my childhood to look like, or it's not exactly what I pictured it, my family looking like, but what now? Like, we can't just sulk in that. Like, where do we go from here? And that's an experience that we can all relate to. I remember I heard someone say before, like, there's no family without family issues. It's just family, it's the territory, it's what it comes with. And so we all have stuff that we need to confront, whether it's with our parents or our siblings or whoever. Like, let's just make sure that we're not carrying and harboring resentment in 2024, because guess what, it looks bad on you. It wrinkles y'all's eyes, it wrinkles your forehead, it wrinkles everything, and we don't want that over here. Okay, I want us to glow like Taahirah, baby. So thank you, Taahirah, for coming on. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm so happy we're back. Stay tuned for very special content this February. I'm super excited. I love you all. Own your identity. Own who you are. And let's go be great. I love y'all. Cheers to you. Mwah. I was going to text you before and be like, don't worry about your outfit. And then I was like, I feel like she's that girl. She's going to look great regardless.
I just put a chain on my pajamas.
Life hack.